Hello my friends, let me introduce you to an incredible drum technique that will help you to beautify your programmed MIDI drum parts even if you have no idea about drumming. And if you're a beginner to intermediate drummer, stick around because we are talking about ghosts. No, not real ghosts, of course. We all know that real ghosts don't exist, right? No, I'm talking about ghost notes or grace notes. Wait, there is no way you haven't heard about them before. Or how I call them, ghost strokes, which is a more appropriate term for the drummer. So what are ghost strokes, how do they work, and what makes them so freaking cool? So thanks for joining the ground noise today and my introduction to ghost strokes. Please make a ghost note that this is a follow-up of this video. All the links are in the show notes and we will work with the same basic groove, which is this one. But this time we will not look at the bass drum because we did that in the other video. No, we will only focus on the snare drum because that's the place where the ghost strokes are happening. And because there are some misconceptions going around about what ghost strokes actually are, let's get them out of the way first. So we have the backbeats here on 2 and 4. And some people think that when there are extra strokes on the snare, something like this for example, that these are ghost strokes. But they are not, okay? These are just extra strokes, normal notes, syncopes or whatever, but no ghost strokes at all. There's nothing ghosty about it. And when you look at the hi-hat pattern, that's another example for a misconception. We have in this example a louder stroke and a quieter stroke, and this pattern repeats throughout the bar here. And some people think that the quieter stroke here, that these are ghost notes, but they are not. First, they are not on the snare drum, and the hi-hat is a very uncommon place to play ghost strokes. No, this is just a normal 8th note hi-hat pattern with accents on the quarter notes. I really want to keep it very simple and beginner friendly here, so my simplest description of a ghost stroke is that they are very quiet extra notes you play to decorate the room between the loud backbeats. And that's what we're doing today. But I will make more videos about this topic in the future for sure, so you really want to subscribe to the channel to not miss that. Do you still remember how I described ghost notes? Well, I said that they are very quiet notes, and that is very important to understand. Because they are not just quieter notes, they are very quiet. And you say, oh boy, wait, what? How is it even possible to hear such super quiet notes in between all those backbeats and kick drums and crashes? And you're right, it's a very good question. And the trick is that we play ghost strokes in between other stuff, okay? For example, our beat here consists only of straight up 8th notes, but we still have all these empty 16th notes areas here. You see that? Just let me fill them up with snare strokes. Okay, now when I play this, it doesn't sound too exciting. I mean, it's not bad. You can make music out of everything. So this could be the foundation for a cool drum fill or something. But let me select all the 16th notes, the extra notes here, and turn them down like to 70. You see the velocity here, 70. So they are quieter now in comparison to the backbeat. But still not really cool, okay? So let's go all in, select them again, and now I make them really quiet, you know, like 20 or 24, something like this. Wow! That's the kind of magic, right? Because we've added a lot of very quiet notes, but they are still audible because we placed them in between all the other stuff. And this is working because on the drums everything creates just short staccato notes, except for the cymbals, of course. And also the snare is kind of made for things like that, because the snare drum is really a super dynamic instrument. You can play very silently on the snare drum and it still makes sense musically. I mean, you can also play very silently on the crash cymbal, but does it make sense musically? Does it add something to the groove? But let me not get too deep into all the psychology behind drumming. Let me better talk about one problem we have. This groove we just created is very busy, okay? It's very busy and still not really ghost-like, because we hear totally what's going on. It's like a new groove we created. But remember, we just want to decorate our original groove with some ghost strokes. So what can we do? Well, in our example, we are going for a natural beat, like if it's played by a real drummer. So first, let me remove all the strokes that are technically a bit hard to play. How do I know that they are hard to play? Because first, I'm a drummer myself for like 200 years. Second, you don't hear such complicated stuff on the radio, that's for sure. And third, it's actually very easy to see. Look at these three strokes here. We have 3 16th notes. And the one in the middle is louder than the others. Actually, the first one is very quiet, the second one is loud, and the third one is very quiet again. Now play that with one hand. I mean, with two hands it's no problem, to be honest, but with one hand, because that's the normal way you play on the snare, you want to play everything on the snare with the one hand, and the other hand is already playing the hi-hat. So now try to make 3 16th notes. Clap them, and the one in the middle is louder than the others. And now do that on the drums while you're playing all the other stuff. And keeping the groove, and keeping the timing, and looking good, and twirling the sticks around like a clown. I mean, that's the drummer's job, right? Acting like a clown. Okay, I removed the 16th note that's around the backbeats. Here and also here. And I also remove the two that go like across the bar, because that's often for beginners very hard to understand. And so you see we have only 2 ghost notes left. But these ones are actually very cool and everybody loves them. Let's be honest, this is really a very cool beat. Everybody loves it. You hear it each and everywhere. You can't deny it. And the way we did it here is like we added a tasteful decoration to the original beat without destroying the original vibe, without overplaying like we did before when we added all the notes in the 16th note gaps, which turned out to be more like a complete new beat. But wait, that's not all. We already learned a bit about dynamics today, so let's continue to do that and play around with our 2 ghost strokes here and make the first one a little bit louder than the other one. Maybe something like this. Even a little bit more, that's up to you. It almost creates something like a delay effect, don't you think? Or the opposite. Let's make the first stroke quiet again and the second one a little bit louder. It's very cool because this works together with the bass drum stroke here in this case. Creates a little hop. So in fact, it's really helpful to recognize that we are dealing with 3 steps of dynamics here. It's not that we are randomly making notes louder or quieter. No, we're having the tight backbeats here on 2 and 4, which are in forte, loud strokes, and then we have the quiet. It's a bit louder now, but it's quiet ghost strokes in piano or pianissimo even. And in the middle of the dynamic range we have, of course, mezzo forte. But believe it or not, when I make electronic music and have to deal with electronic drum sounds, I still remember all of this, okay? I still try to add dynamics to my electronic drum parts. Isn't it interesting? I don't know if you have noticed, but our beat here is still hard quantized. Everything is on the grid. There is no human groove going on, but still everything sounds more natural after we added some ghost strokes and some dynamics. And this shows you how important it is to think a little bit dynamically when it comes to a drum part, because believe it or not, the drum kit is a very, very dynamic instrument. It's hard to believe, I know, when you listen to the modern music, everything is on the same level, compressed the hell out of the drums, and everybody uses the same samples. I don't know, that's not my world. But hey, talking about sounds, do you want to know what drum plugin I'm using here? We can do that in a minute. Before that, please don't forget to do all the things, okay? Thank you very much. Don't ghost me. Here we go. It's Addictive Drums 2. It's an old plugin. It's a couple of years old and I still like it. What can I say? I don't know if there's a new version available or not. And I also own Addictive Drums 1, the predecessor, and I still like that one too. And I also have some kits here, but I'm using just this Fairfax Volume 1. There are some downsides of this plugin, to be honest. Of course, the price and that you have to buy single kits separately. And that's the reason I only own like 4 or 5 kits. But they are kind of big. For example, you have different bass drums and different snares and everything else. And you can tune everything like you want. So it's kind of fun to work with Addictive Drums 2, except for the right cymbals. They are always like... This is not a right cymbal, you know, this is a silently played crash cymbal or whatever. There's no ping, nothing. But this is not a plug-in review, not a plug-in show. No, we talked about ghost strokes, and guess what? We are done for now, okay? There will be more videos about ghost strokes and dynamics to come. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please also check out the videos in the outro. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Markus, and I hope to see you soon in the next one.